Look here, ain't no pretender. Just remember, look, you hoes ain't born. I hope you realize that you not born. Leaving them and let them know they was charging closely. Go ahead and ring me along and let them know they were charging closely. Now listen, your boy Carcino, let's get into it. This is the truth behind the the Bone saga. So let's go ahead and get this done. Layzie Bone and Offset. Now notice I didn't do something that you guys probably thought I was going to do. I chose not to do it because it didn't make sense to do. Finally got a notification. That's shocking to me because nobody else seemed to have gotten one. Now, people distracted. People start going nuts. Now, here's the situation. Offset and Layzie Bone. I won't involve the rest of Bone Thugs and Harmony because this hasn't been the case. Now, Bone always had respect for the Migos because actually, Crazy Bone never really gotten into it with it, but Busy was the main one to really get this thing started. Yeah, it's crazy how the notifications don't work here. Um, it just makes zero sense. Absolutely. I would believe that. Now, lyrical skill, no. If it came down to that, it would be a no. It would be a no brainer. You know what I'm saying? This thing would be over in one snap of a finger. It's done. Now, Offset is using this for publicity. He needs this for his album. Now, it all started when they did an interview saying that they were the greatest band of all time, greatest group rather of all time. So naturally, that set off. That set off everything, man. It set off the Migos. I mean, it set off Bone, but first person it set off was Busy. Busy Bone was the first person to say something about it, and they just wanted their respect. They liked the Migos, like he said. He was like, "We like them little dudes. They remind us of us. They was coming up doing the same stuff we was doing. So they had nothing but respect for the Migos." Then things started to change. Well, here's the thing: the Migos kept, talking that they the greatest group of all time and everything else. So Layzie just wanted to bring that up. But he also brought up the fact, like, look, you know, we would destroy them. You know, give us our respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say you the greatest, and then don't mention that you guys are using melodies just like Bone Thugs and Harmony, which is true. These dudes, the Migos, they use harmony. All these dudes are harmonizing and using melody. They doing Bone Thugs and Harmony. All of them. When you guys are emulating the Migos are basically using what Bone Thugs and Harmony was doing. Bone Thugs and Harmony has sold way more records than the Migos. So as far as comparing them as groups, as far as quality of music and everything else, no album the Migos made combined can compare to East 1999. Let's get that straight right now. Bailey and Eric, what's up? I appreciate it. Anyway, before this guy said he was his cousin, that's not what Offset was saying. Offset was really engaging in this, talking about, yeah, these old dudes, man, I bet you he ain't got $1 million. Again, you turn to the money. What does the money have to do with this? Absolutely nothing. So when you start talking, we that number one group crap over and over again, this problem and scenarios are going to keep rearing their ugly head around, and everybody's going to start seeing it. Now, I don't know why, but I've seen it, firsthand. Like, man, like, what is these dudes really doing? Like, that was dumb to even go down that route. And all he's saying is, dude, y'all just got big mouths. They have big mouths, amigos. And that's what they said, man. Y'all need to show some respect. Because y'all think in today's time it's okay to be disrespectful. And that's where the problem is. When you get with the older guys, hey, when you get with the older guys, it's different. The older guys they feel like, no, it's respect. You might sell more, you might get more money up front, but you getting that money because of Bone Thugs and Harmony. You understand? Bone Thugs had to come through and do what they did in order for you to even be accepted. If there was no Bone Thugs and Harmony, there would be no Migos. So for you to come out, but they did the same thing Jacquees said. It was like trying to explain to the older guys that Hey, y'all just don't get it. It's the new internet. You just say stuff and it just get picked up. That's what Jacquees said to Keith Sweat and Tank when they tried to. He was like, "Y'all didn't have Twitter back then, like that's how you got to do it." So I'm the king of this new generation. What's up, strictly for my opinions? I'll see you up. You want to get online since you made a donation? You click the link in the description box. You made that donation. Shouts out to Rail X and thank you for the happy birthday too. Christ King, I saw you. Goo came through again. Dapper Van, Marlo the Don, his first time donating. I appreciate that. He said it was long overdue. I remember I emailed you today, I think. Mm. Well, it's just what they said, just in reverse. Bone Thugs are legends, man. They legends in this game. They show people how to branch off and do things. It's just that the floor broke from under them. When the ice broke and the music changed and everything changed, they weren't able to, adjust from when people went away from that style. I'm a little tired, Bailey and Eric. That sounds like a drink. Bailey and Eric's. This is Eric. Bailey is sleeping. If you got a double account, Bailey and Eric, you can't be trusted. Welcome to Bailey and Eric's Facebook. You'd be like, uh-oh, he's in trouble. It's the rise. You reach the rise Facebook. It's like, oh man, you cannot be trusted to hold down your page. He's like, is that what it is? Really? Yeah. No privacy for you. No privacy. You're like, you know what? I think I want to have my own page. You'd be like, for what? Either you want to have control on her page and see everything she doing, or she wants to see everything you doing. Yeah, I had friends who had their own pages like that, but they needed that because he couldn't be trusted. And women know what they got. Yeah, a woman keep a guy, she be like, yeah, I ain't letting him go. But I know what I got to do to keep him. I got to make sure I watch him 24/7. I knew my phone was tapped. Yes, I did, Christ King. You must have just got here late. I thanked you for the donation. You and Rel. No, thank you. Star has been on. Now, lyrically, they wouldn't be able to stand in a room with Bone. You know, the Migos lyrically couldn't. They wouldn't have a chance. But Offset kept coming with this money play. He's like, dog, let's have a lyrical battle. Group versus group. Let's go. Bone versus Migos. Let's do it. Now, this is an attention play by Bone, but they want their respect and they feel like the Migos didn't properly give them their respect. I could see that. Migos got flow, but their cadence come from Bone. If you listen to the Migos flow, that's Bone Thugs and Harmony. They're all these guys are harmonizing. That's Bone. Nobody was harmonizing and rapping like that. People was using harmony in their thing, but not like the way Bone did it. On my Instagram is Carcino for life, just like it is in here. Bone got that from Twister. I wouldn't say that. Twister and Bone don't even rap alike. Twister didn't rap like them until he slowed his rap style down and he was mostly trying to be like Bone. But in Chicago, it was different. They came up with they kind of went in that way, but not quite. They wasn't really harmonizing like Bone. It was called like, putting a twist on it. But he slowed, like when emotions and all that stuff came out. He slowed when Poe Pimpin' came out and they came out with that style. They slowed it down. But Tongue Twister, like when he had no peace sign and all that, he was rapping different. It was back then. It was the fast spitting flow. Bone was more of a group. They were like that was like boys to men who could rap. If boys to men could rap, they could do a song like Bone. Because if you listen to the songs, they're more R&B than rap. First is the first of the month, get up, think to be begun. This is the first of the month. I know about, and it's gonna stop. I'm in a beat, the first of the month. It's harmonizing. That's all it is. It's the first of the month. So get your boots to be gone. This is the first of the month. Yeah, I didn't even have to bring up Crossword. That destroyed any Migos song that ever came around. That song is iconic. It will be played throughout the time. I'm gonna be there money now. Yeah, I mean, all harmony. You can just harmonize the entire song. Well, if you have to take it. Man, dude, no song the Migos have ever played. And I love the Migos. I like them. As a group, I think they're very talented together. Not apart. Together. They make it work. But they can't touch both. Now, if they say we the kings of this new era, all right, cool. You the cool of the kings of these new era. But Bone, I tell you right now, production wise, you listen to East 1999, listen to the beats and listen to that sound. It is the most craziest harmonizing, and it is one of the best double CDs that was made. That was rough. The harmonizing, the beat, the mixing, everything. Unique got down, and he don't even get his credit for that. The first 6, 7 songs would take your head off. Creeping We Came is a monster. We creeping we came, creeping we came, creeping we came. Who the fuck gonna make it up chill? Busy Quavo, crazy as Offset, lazy as Takeoff. That is exactly the truth. Filthy Frank, you broke that down to the T. A lot of people though would assume that it's the other way around, but you got that right. Some people think that Offset is lazy bone. Well, they were like a group, and back then groups, it was just so hard because groups didn't make a lot of money. A solo artist makes all the money. The group, it's not enough to split. You basically got to sell a million some odd records, multi-millions of records, so y'all can everybody in the group can have some money. Why do you think groups break up? And the lead singers be going solo. So that they can get the money all to themselves. At least Backstreet Boys knew that they ain't nothing without each other. They didn't have one person that would stand out on their own and would do anything as a solo artist. NSYNC, they had Justin. Who was the weakest? You could say Flesh because he wasn't around that much. I'm coming up quicker than not quite because Flesh be loving this money. Flesh was always in jail. So You couldn't really, if you caught flesh on the song, that was great. Hold on. This Nipsey. Oh, that's Nipsey. He said, I saw that YouTube piece you put up. I appreciate you. What I tell him, thanks. Now go get that Grammy. Go get that Grammy. And they say Carcino don't be talking to these rappers. You ain't got the views like academics. You don't be knowing nobody. Take my victory lap. I'm quite sure he don't. I mean, look, Run DMC is by far the kings of it. If you want to talk about groups, if you're gonna say who's the best group of all time, and you're gonna have to take it back to Run DMC. Because Run DMC, I'm not saying they were the best rappers in the game, but what they did was to performance. They have so many hit records, so many hit songs. That's the thing about them. They had a lot of hit records and a lot of hit songs on album after album after album. They knew how to do a show. You know, Public Enemy, they had an amazing 3 album span that I don't think nobody could touch them. But they could do shows. They could perform. Wu-Tang Clan only they did like more albums than basically a lot of them groups. But they know how to do a show. But they're in that mix. Outkast is in that mix. They really put the South on the map, especially Atlanta. From somebody from Atlanta being on the map. Exactly. That's really how you they were the ones to cross over rap, walk this way, knock down a whole bunch of doors for sponsorships. Run DMC had a Coca-Cola deal. They were the first one. Beats to the Rhyme. They changed that. Catch the Wave. That's when Coca-Cola had the Catch the Wave movement. Catch the Wave. Coca-Cola was the biggest sponsor of hip hop at that time. They were one of them. They used to sponsor the all the talent shows that had New Edition, everything. And Pepsi came in, like, we got to get some of this hip hop money and start putting this stuff on. So during those times, if it wasn't for people like Run DMC who took that risk, when everybody like, that's a bad idea, putting rap with rock and putting them on the stage together, that worked. People started listening to Run DMC. To show you how crazy it is, Tricky was the first single off the album of Raising Hell. That was the first single. It's Tricky to rock around to. Back then, you had to have 2-hit single. On the back of Tricky was Hit It Run. Hit It Run, rock. They did Hit It Run on Saturday Night Live. When the album came out, we thought the song was a joke. We laughed because everybody was beatboxing at the time. And Run DMC didn't beatbox. So it was like almost like a clowning thing. Like they were clowning everybody who was beatboxing at the time. It was crazy. Real crazy. I loved it. Leave bro from Joe and never stop. We want to get this up together. Let's rock. Hit it, run, rock. Ron was terrible at the beatboxing. That's what made it just not take off at all. But the point was, Tricky. That was the first single off the Raising Hell album, which sold like 2 million records and just took them to a whole new plateau. They started selling records like crazy. Tricky, every year, is almost in the top sales of hip hop songs. Ever since White Chicks, that was the first time some of these white people really remember Tricky. It's Tricky, Tricky, Tricky. Hey, it's Tricky, dude. They play it at these white parties. It has become a worldwide phenomenon. It has caught fire all over again. They had no idea that the song came out in 1987. A new wave of young people have found the song since the movie White Chicks, and they start seeing it in that dance off. And now Tricky keeps getting played on jukeboxes everywhere, clubs, everything. Tricky has become like one of their second biggest hits, transcending through time. All of this translates to what song does the Migos have that will be played 20 years from now? Will they be playing Bad and Bougie 20 years from now? Because real Migos fans, like all the stuff they did before Bad and Bougie. I've spoken to them. They like all the stuff they did before Bad and Bougie. All the stuff they did before Bad and Bougie, they loved it. White Tea, all them other songs, they love that. Everything since Bad and Bougie, they like, man, I don't like that. We like Versace. They love all the old stuff. But they blew their money on Versace. They was sleep on that. Getting that out and getting it pressed, they lost a lot of money off that song. Good if it wasn't for Bad and Bougie, the group was gonna split up. Thank God for Bad and Bougie. It saved Amigos. And they ended up getting out of that deal with 300. I thought the Migos was a Mexican group. Hey, they ice traded game, baby. They came in. Hey, they started getting that money. So yeah, I'm glad you're here, Mr. Marquez. I don't know where you've been, but don't forget, click the link in the description box. You guys can get that that notification sent to you. I mean, it's an attention play. All of it is. Your girl should be happy you watching. So you're learning something. I believe so. They probably are the only ones that do a song with Big Pac, Easy E, and Big Pun. It's kind of hard to do the song while they ain't here, but yeah, uh, they probably did. I think they did because I do remember them doing a song with Pun, but I don't know if Pun was. I don't know if it was when Pun was still here. Migos already on the decline. I did a response video on Gene Deal. I don't understand. What am I responding to? Migos just need to retire. Oh, dude, that video is like old. We've been dealt that. I didn't talk to Gene on the phone. That's old, man. We been past that. That was like months ago. Well, I say they number one group of all time. How can I say they number one over Run DMC? I wouldn't. I don't think nobody. I don't think Wu Tang would put themselves over Run DMC. Never was shook though. I don't see how you could be shook of somebody who don't live in your city. Unless you jump about James Prince, I ain't got no problems. I'll be like, Mr. Prince, I think I got a situation. Well, you got to understand. You got to understand this. Without Run DMC, there's no Outkast. There's no Wu-Tang Clan. They had to pave the way for you to make all this. So for Migos, all you do is say you the king of this new era. If you want to say the new era, fine. Don't say all time. Because you're not. One, and Bone Thugs paved the way so there could be Amigos. Because without them, without Bone Thugs, it wouldn't have been basically none of this stuff going on. Okay? If it wasn't for Outkast, you disrespect Outkast. If it wasn't for Outkast, it definitely wouldn't be you. The Goody Mob and Outkast, the Dungeon Family, if it wasn't for them, it really wouldn't be no business in doggone Atlanta. Y'all wouldn't have no record companies and stuff in Atlanta. If it wasn't for them, LaFace putting all that stuff, y'all wouldn't even exist. So believe me, y'all would have been some doggone dudes arrested in the basement, rapping some other people's songs from somewhere else, going back and forth to jail. There ain't no way in the world. So I got to start looking at Run DMC or Public Enemy. You can't. When you go 1 and 2, you got to go there. Like, what impact did they have on the game? Wu-Tang had an impact for a little bit of time, but it was too many. They're more, instead of a group, they were a bunch of individuals forming together into a group called Wu-Tang, but they were a bunch of individuals. It never kind of felt like a group. It was like a band of misfits. And each one of them deadly. But see, they could all stand on their own. That's why they all had solo careers. Old Dirty Bastard was a character of his own. You were able to know every member basically of the Wu-Tang. I mean, if you look at it, Capadonna had a gold album. Old Dirty Bastard sold almost a platinum album right out the gate. Meth sold 1 million records. Ghostface and Ray, they had an album that went gold, almost sold 1 million. Then Ghostin by himself sold 1 million. So all together, they had successful careers, and those are like they got 9 members in the group. They actually ended up having 10. Everybody put out albums, and they were going gold or platinum and doing things. I mean, they were making money. They were making money at that time. Now, out of anybody who had a group that big, Wu-Tang had the more monumental success because these guys were able to, for them to be that many guys in the crew, they were able to branch out and individually launch their own careers and have some success. Bone tried that format too, that the Wu-Tang did. They did the same format. They branched out and had the True and the Mo Thugs. They had the True. Master P did the True. They Layzie them. They went and had their own imprint and had the Mo Thugs and kept putting out other people that was in the group and they was eating off the brand. But what happened was they expanded too fast, too quick, and not everybody was on the same page. So when they started putting out the Mo Thugs and was getting their money there, they contract with Ruthless Records was a mess. So they got like $50 million and blew it. Easy. They had no structure of a plan or nothing. But Bone Thugs did make 50 million. Then they negotiated a deal that would have helped structure them forever, but the Ruthless record imprint was sitting there and nobody could go and get it. And Daz was smart enough to wait till it expired and went to go get the name Ruthless Records. Daz is a hustler. That's all he knows. More than a beat maker. He's an incredible beat maker. Daz is incredible. He's just one of those guys that Daz just want to get high, sit around, do nothing all day long. That's Daz. So that's just what he gonna do. That's Daz. So that's that. And the end of this day, he was wrong. So we're gonna take it from there. Thank y'all for hanging out. Hopefully y'all click the link in the description box and make a donation to the page. I'm out. That's it. That's all.